welcome back to another episode of the CattleUSA Daily Podcast. Today, we are bringing back something we've kind of been doing every once in a while recently, and that is bringing you guys two claims that we are seeing in the media right now about the beef industry or about agriculture and debunking those, talking about them, talking about what we're seeing in the media, the facts behind them, and then empowering you guys as producers to be able to go into your own communities, go into the world, not only more informed yourselves, but then also we can then encourage a more informed consumer population. Because if we're not informed ourselves as producers, how can we expect our consumer population to be informed if we don't even know the facts? So we have two claims for you guys today, and we're talking specifically health and how beef is really fueling us as a society, but the media thinks it's killing us. So, claim number one, beef increases your risk of dying early. Okay, where is this coming from? Why is this even a concern? Why is this even a headline? We have observational studies like those found in the Lancet and then Harvard Public Health that suggest links between red meat and heart disease, cancer, or early death. These studies dominate the headlines, but they miss so much context. So much context is missed. Okay, here are the things that are actually going on. These studies don't separate lean beef from processed meats like hot dogs. They don't control for lifestyle factors like smoking, exercise, alcohol use, or sugar intake. And you know what? The reality of it is, if you eat your burger with fries and a soda, but never move your body, I'm sorry, but it's not the burger that's the problem. And here's the thing of what controlled trials show. No high-quality randomized trial has ever shown that eating moderate amounts of unprocessed red meat causes any diseases. Many new studies are actually calling for a neutral dietary guidelines surrounding beef. And here's the thing, with processed meat and unprocessed meat and the confusion of specificity with those in these, we need to actually acknowledge that processed meats have things like nitrates and preservatives and excess sodium in them, whereas lean unprocessed beef has a way higher protein content, no sugar, and it's loaded with micronutrients. And that is not taken into consideration with these studies. That is so important to remember as producers and as consumers when you are seeing these headlines that yeah, those are headlines, and that is a scientific study, and it was done well enough to be in the Harvard Health Journal, but it doesn't take into consideration key factors like that unprocessed meat versus lean meat. Actually, in 2021, we saw a meta-analysis done by the Journal of Nature Medicine, and it found no significant evidence to justify current limits on red meat consumption. And we are continuously seeing more and more about this. Beef is not a death sentence, it's what's for dinner. And bad science just makes good headlines, but real beef deserves better at the end of the day. Okay, claim number two. You don't need animal protein to be healthy. This is a big push from plant-based studies, plant-based companies, everything like that. And critics argue that you can get all the protein and nutrients that you need from plants. But that argument blatantly ignores bioavailability, nutrient density, and real-world access. And here's the truth. Animal protein, that is something that is complete and efficient for our dietary needs. Beef contains all 9 essential amino acids in the right ratios and in a form that your body can actually absorb, whereas plant proteins often lack one or more of these essential aminos, or they require combining multiple sources like rice and beans to match beef's profile that is already naturally given to you. It's crazy how something created for us by God to naturally consume regularly is in the perfect ratios and in the perfect form for our bodies to absorb. Crazy how that works. And guys, this is especially critical for people like children, pregnant women, the elderly, and low-income or food-insecure communities. For the people who need it most, animal protein is not a preference. It is actually a lifeline to their dietary needs. So here are some nutrients that you'll miss if you just eat plants. Vitamin B12, which is not found naturally in plant foods and would need to be supplemented outside of dietary options that you are giving yourself. Next, you're seeing iron. There's 4 times more bioavailable iron in beef than there is in plant-based iron. Next, we're seeing zinc, creatine, DHA, taurine, and kerosene, which are all found in higher levels in meat. You need to eat with this. This is amazing, just a little fun fact about vitamins and nutrients and bioavailability and absorption rates and everything like that. And I am a health nut, so I could go into absorption and bioavailability and all of that and what all of that means in a whole nother episode, and probably sit here for an hour and talk to you about how our body actually absorbs things and the way that our cells break down different items and everything like that. But as far as plants versus beef, and specifically in the iron realm, one of my favorite fun facts is that you would need to eat 8 cups of spinach to get the same iron as 3 ounces of beef, and your body still absorbs less of that iron in the spinach than it does the beef because of the bioavailability and because of our natural absorption abilities with that beef versus the spinach. So, just a little fun fact for you. The thing is, guys, you can live without beef, but you might not thrive at the end of the day, especially if you are not supplementing with the correct supplements that you're not getting naturally through your plant-based diets. And that is something that we see a lot in the push for a plant-based diet and in that community is people with nutrient deficiencies, like those B12s, like that iron, like the zinc, creatine, the DHAs, things like that you can get from outside sources. But if you are not knowledgeable or understand how all of that works, then you're missing that and your body is suffering because of it. But if you're just eating beef, then you don't have to worry about that because your body is getting all of the natural nutrients that it needs from that super house of a food. The thing is, guys, beef fuels muscle, brain power, and energy. Tofu, not so much. And I can't necessarily say that tofu is here nor there. There are some meals that have it in there that is perfectly fine, but beef fuels your body in a way that nothing else can compare to. And if you care about your health, you care about a better protein quality, and beef is the highest protein quality that you can find out there. So here is what you can do, guys. I talked about 2 specific to health claims against beef today. What you can do: open up that notes app, write down some quick facts that I gave you about these different claims. Write down 2 things about these claims in your notes app, recite them to your memory, be prepared, be a better and informed producer population so that we can have a better consumer population and a more informed consumer population. Go share about beef and the powerhouse of a nutrient that beef is with your communities, with those around you, and continue to be an advocate. Because, guys, it starts with us. It starts with these grassroots initiatives of us showing up every single day, willing to fight for this industry and willing to fight these mainstream headlines and show that beef, that's what's for dinner. And we are dang proud of it. And it is an amazing protein source, and it is healthy for you. It is not killing you. And it is what you need in your life to have a sustainable beef industry and beef market here in the United States. We need to keep consumer demand. And a big part of that starts with having an informed consumer population that knows that beef is healthy for them. And they are not just leaning into it because it is the most available source, but it is also the source that is best for them and best for their family. And they're making an amazing and healthy choice by feeding it to their families. And we need to continue to get that story out there and share that beef is great, not only in taste, but also in quality. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of the CattleUSA Daily Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would really appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, rate, review. All of those things take 10 seconds to do each, and they mean the world to us. They help us continue to grow this podcast, grow this platform, and continue to reach more producers, and then in turn reach more consumers, and just continue to evolve a better ranching operation, ranching community, and cattle industry as a whole. So thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you all tomorrow on another episode. Have a good one, y'all.